Mind you, Neil, if memory serves me correct, you can empathise with Williams.
I lost 2 consecutive frames against Steve Davis with snookers needed. And can imagine that I didn't win that match because it's not the best thing for your chances. They weren't the opening 2 frames of a match, but it happened. Still Williams comes out potting ball, so
1.
look, if he can find a way of winning this match after all this, and clearly it's possible at 2-0 down, it's only a best of 7. But if he does win it, then he really has proved something, because both of those frames would have hurt immensely. It's been due to some very fine play, though, more so than his own error. Maybe he should have made more in frame 2.
5.
But the most minuscule of mistakes has been punished.
Six.
Yeah, in the first frame he came on the incorrect side of the blue, unlike here. That meant he could just dolly the blue in and be 69 ahead with 67 on. Had he been on the correct side of the blue and got an extra red, the frame would have been his. Small tolerances.
Eleven.
Well, as you can see, the red is very potable. It's not that. It's just a question of what happens with the black and maybe the red also to the left of the black. How's he going to bring them all into play? Deciding that he's not going to take that risk on the red near the black on this shot.
Twelve. Seventeen. Eighteen.
To keep the break going, he's going to take a good shot here. He'll play some sort of a cannon. Plain ball. Keep on running up the table somewhat, but just get into either the red he's closest to or the edge of the bunch to bring something into play. Well, he's got a shot here. He's got a fraction too much of the red.
25.
Once again, cue ball running that's fractionally loose here, following this red.
Mark Williams, 25.
Yes, there wasn't much he could do. Obviously, missing the pot was the problem, but I think his mind was on the cue ball and where that was going to finish.
One.
And given the overall sharpness that Robertson's displayed, Neil, you would fancy him to make a few here.
Well, he said a very interesting thing, Phil, I thought, in the interview with Rob before the match, and it's something I hadn't really thought
3.
about, but of course he won the English the weekend before last, English Open, and so often in the recent history of the calendar of snooker, you go straight onto another event the next day, there's something new starts, players aren't quite ready to keep that run going, the edge comes off their game immediately, but he said he'd had a week at home, week to rest, but then work on his game, so that's better than just walking straight into a new event starting the next day. We haven't got that all the time. We're in the middle of a long run where that is going to happen. As far as the English was concerned, it just gave him a chance to regroup.
Really good point, Neil.
11.
Worth saying, you know, in the history of the game, there have only been 11 players who've won back-to-back world ranking events. I know this isn't a ranking tournament, but it just goes to show how difficult it is to follow up on a recent win.
12.
Positional misjudgment.
Well, the calculations went astray there in a big way. I'm not entirely sure how he was playing that cannon.
Brown
Having
ball.
seen it, I'm still none the wiser.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I had a look at it. Thank you. Brown
Well,
ball.
he's basically saying he can see the black, which wouldn't come into the equation yet, but it might do if he misses this twice.
Neil Robertson, 12.
Just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. One of those 11 players to win back-to-back ranking titles is the man taking on this red. Williams won the China Open, which was that year in Shanghai, then immediately flew out to Thailand and won that, the Thailand Masters. Great achievement.
I think Neil would love to roll this red down the cushion here. Playing it slowly. He knows it's not a certainty. You see what happens. A lot of people think these pockets are very big, but if they were, the players would just knock those in and not even think about them. It was never in, that shot. Played it slowly. But these players are so good, but those shots are still difficult.
One.
You get the feeling that Williams has to make the most of this.
Eight. Nine. Sixteen. Seventeen.
Just getting towards in the red zone here, aren't we? Another frame that Williams should be about to win. This
24.
time he really has to ensure that there's no backlash, no twist in the tail.
25. 30.
Pressure pot coming up now. He's at that point again. The frame almost secure, but not quite in the bag.
Yeah, not the best of cannons. I mean, it makes the red more difficult than it should be to the middle bag here. Very nice.
31.
And his experience there, I think, counted for something. Just putting everything that's gone before to the back of his mind. No
33.
playing ball, but as I say, maybe 2 or 3 shots after. Pop those as well. And you
34.
can ensure that Neil Robertson will stay in his chair.
Forty. $41.
In the light of what's gone on before, I think this is pretty impressive.
48.
Typical Williams. Made of stern stuff.
Mark Williams, 48 and different.
The miss there was too late to save Robertson's bacon. There will be no salvage operation in this frame. Williams gets his first on the board. Robertson still just ahead.